Candlelight leans across the table, amber resting in my hand. The room hums low in minor chords, soft drums like distant sand. I've learned to sit with silence without the need to fill the air. A man who understands restraint doesn't advertise he's there. The loud rehearse their confidence, projected through the room. I let mine settle slowly, like smoke beneath the gloom. Every word I choose is measured, every pause intentional, because presence built on discipline is nearly dimensional. This is the discipline of quiet, the art of standing still, of holding storms behind the eyes, through patience and through will. I move without announcement, no spectacle to deploy. The strongest kind of power makes no unnecessary noise. Swallow pride before it spoke, let ego lose its seat, because a calm and centered man is difficult to defeat. The guitar bends slow and thoughtful, like memory refined by time. I don't chase validation, my alignment is my sign. There is weight in composure, in breathing slow and deep, in knowing what to answer and what to never keep. The candle burns lower, nothing in the room has changed, but something in me has a line. Smoke hangs like unfinished thoughts, neon flickers but I don't. I've been counting what can't be seen, not the money but what it means. Trust that doesn't bend or break, choices only grown and make. I don't argue with the night, I just sit and let it ride. Every scar across my hand is a line I chose to stand. They measure worth in noise and fame, I measure mine in what remains. When the room is stripped of pride and there's nowhere left to hide, every loss refined my tone, every fall carved deeper stone. Silence is a currency spent with care and dignity. I don't talk about the climb, I just move when it's time. No announcement, no decree, just quiet authority. Late night deals without a word. Respect is felt before it's heard. As I scan, not for fear, but for truth that's standing near. I've seen loud men fade away, burn too fast then decay. I prefer a steady flame, one that doesn't need a name. Whiskey low, collar straight, I don't rush, I calculate. Every breath a chosen pace, every step leaves no trace. You can keep your spotlight glow, I got places I don't show. Power isn't what you claim, it's what remains without a name. Silence is my legacy, built on self-control and clarity. If you're searching for the throne, I've already built my own. In the quiet I became everything without the fame. Just a heavier beating heart. One light on the top floor, building mostly black. The cleaning crew already gone, no audience to react. Tie loosen, sleeves roll clean, paperwork aligned. Not chasing recognition, just refining the design. Clock ticks without emotion, time don't sympathize. Either build deliberately or get consumed by noise. Bass steady like my breathing, drums barely touch the air. There's a power in consistency most men never bear. 2M off is light, quiet empire inside. While they sleep and talk tomorrow, I prepare tonight. 2 a.m. off is light, no applause required. The loud burn out by morning, the discipline get higher. I've learned to detach from ego, detach from quick acclaim, because reputation built in silence outlasts a famous name. Emails never show the hours, contracts hide the grind, but foundations laid in darkness are the strongest you can find. Nobody claps for preparation. Nobody sees restrained. But when the moment finally comes, precision never faints. Light switches off behind me. Elevator hums down slow. City still asleep, but I know every city has foundations hidden under stone, strength you never notice until it stands alone. I learned to build in darkness, lay structure out of sight. The loud construct illusions, I construct the night. Blueprints in my memory, plans beneath the comb. I don't speak of what I'm shaping, I let results disarm. Drums barely touch the surface, bass steady and restrained. Real momentum doesn't tremble, it simply remains. I'm building silent architecture, brick by brick unseen. No flashing lights, no spectacle, just discipline between. I'm building silent architecture, where patience sets the tone. And when the structure rises, it will stand on its own. I've walked away from arguments that offered nothing back. Energy is currency, and I don't waste it on attack. Some men chase quick victories, celebrate too fast. I invest in permanence, in something built to last. Not understands ambition, it doesn't beg for life. Some of us were wired to operate at night. Silent architecture, steady and profound, the strongest designs in history. candle burns but never trembles. You're steady in the draft, like a man who learned composure from the weight of aftermath. Guitar hums in amber circles, soft against the glass. I don't speak about the storm I've already let pass. Some men spark and fade in seconds, bright but quickly gone. I chose to be a lower flame, the kind that lingers on. You won't hear my history spilled across the bar, but every scar I carry rewrote who you think we are. Low flame character, burning deep inside. No need for wild reactions, no ego left to hide. Low flame character, calm but hard to break. The quietest man in any room are the ones you shouldn't mistake. Well, I've learned restraint is power. When pressure fills the air, when others lose their posture, I simply stay aware. The drums brush slow behind me, like footsteps through the night. I don't chase control loudly, I just hold it tight. The flame burns low, still steady. never been. Guitar bleeds through the silence, low and patient in my veins. Every note a quiet reminder, some victories don't make names. Windows glow like distant memories, behind curtains drawn too tight. Everyone fights their private battles, I just prefer mine out of sight. No raised voice, no restless movement, no need to prove control. The strongest shifts in any city happen deep inside a soul. I don't announce my intention, I don't rehearse my plan. I let decisions ripen slowly before I move my hand. I move like shadows over asphalt lines, deliberate steps, no warning sign. The loud may chase their borrowed shine, but I build mine in the night. There's power in restraint, in knowing when to wait, and letting opportunities reveal their natural weight. I've seen ambition self-destruct from speaking far too soon. Patience is a sharpened blade that cuts without a wound. Every street I cross remembers the man I used to be. Reactive, loud, impatient, chasing visibility. But growth don't scream for witnesses, it happens quietly. I move like shadows over asphalt lines, purpose in my quiet spine. Not every empire needs a sign, some are built in the night. Streetlight fades behind me, city breathing slow. I leave no sound, no evidence, just a direction only I know. A warm love guitar bleeding soft through the edges of the night. I've drawn plans inside my mind, far from public sight. Every setback became structure, every scar a beam, while they chased applause and credit. I redesigned the scheme. The candlelight reflects precision across a steady gaze. You don't see the outer texture, built across the years and days. No dramatic declarations, no theatrical display. Discipline became the language I speak without delay. Silent blueprint underneath the calm, framework forged in flame. You won't see it forming, but it's shaping the game. Silent blueprint, quiet design, patience has the key. The loud construct illusions, I construct quietly. Every move tonight is anchored to something deeper still. Emotion doesn't lead me, alignment bends my will. The bar goes dimmer by the minute, but clarity grows bright. Some men shine in daylight, others own the night. Glass empty, decision intact, blueprint secure. The bar clock ticks like patience across the smoky air. I've learned that rushing outcomes leads nowhere. Candlelight leans closer, but never pushes hard. Some victories are harvested, not torn apart. A younger version who needed to be seen. Now I build momentum without stepping in between. Observation over impulse, alignment over pride. Because a man who masters waiting controls the tide. I am the man who waits, passive, not afraid, just calculating angles before the move is made. I am the man who waits, stillness by design. The loud confuse it with weakness, they always do. That's fine. lust disguised greed. The guitar bends low and steady, like a thought becoming clear. You don't have to chase the future when direction's already here. Waiting isn't freezing, it's preparing to decide. The glass is empty, the timing is right. I stand. The glass is empty, the timing is right. There's a rhythm in the distance between each measured stride. Not hesitation, precision, not fear, just disciplined pride. The bass hums like a heartbeat underneath the skyline side. I've learned that silence carries farther than a restless battle cry. Traffic lights blink and cycle, red to green to gold. The world keeps rushing forward, I move control. You won't see the calculations, you won't read it in my face. Emotion isn't weakness, but neither is restraint. In the space between footsteps, decisions are made. Not loud, not frantic, just quietly wait. In the space between heartbeats, a future aligned. The loud chase the moment, I master the time. Billboards scream for attention, neon begs to be seen. But the sharpest minds in any room move in between. Observe the intersections, watch patterns repeat. You can learn more from silence than from anyone. I've let anger dissolve itself, let ego fall apart, because composure under pressure is a form of art. In the space between footsteps, I claim my ground. No applause necessary, no dramatic sound, just steady breathing in midnight air. A city unaware that something irreversible shifted there. Low light on a wooden floor, same seat like 1,000 nights before. I don't rush to close an hour. I've seen what comes from borrowed power. Fast men fade like neon signs. I prefer the long designs. Every handshake, every nod, every silence carries weight of God. I don't gamble what I build. I don't speak unless it's real. There were winters in my chest, times I carried what I never confessed. But storms don't last forever long. They shape the spine, they tune the song. I learned restraint the hardest way, by watching loud men decay. Measure steps in low light glow. I don't chase, I let it flow. No parade when I arrive, no collapse when I survive. I don't move to be admired, I move when the moment's wide. Betrayal tastes like bitter rye, burns slow but it clarifies. You see who stands and who just talks, who builds walls and who just walks. I cut ties without a scene, no broken glass, no gasoline, just distance drawn with steady hands. That's how a quiet man commands. You won't hear me stake a claim. I don't compete inside that game, because the loudest in the room usually meet the quickest doom. There's a difference between noise and force, between reaction and real course, between a temper and control, between attention and a soul. Measure step, deliberate pace. I don't need to win the race, while others shout to feel alive. I sharpen edges, I You could miss him if you blink. He never stands at the edge of the brink. He never raised his voice in rage, never fought for center stage. When the room was filled with heat, he leaned back, crossed his feet. He watched empires rise and fall, never needed to stand tall, because height ain't measured loud, and strength don't beg a crowd. He lost things he won't explain, buried pride beneath the pain, folded grief inside his coat, never let it reach his throat. Some men break and make a sound, some just tighten up their crown. He never raised his voice, still the room respected his choice. Didn't threaten, didn't dream, didn't advertise his need. He moved slow, he moved wide, steel was hidden in his eyes. When betrayal knocked his door, he didn't pace across the floor. He just recalculated lines, cutting ties in silent signs. No revenge in what he planned, just distance drawn by steady hand. He understands the cost of war and what restraint is for. Candlelight reflects his face, years of discipline and grace. He doesn't rush to prove he's right, he just sleeps well at night. Storms will come again, but thunder doesn't shake that man. He never raised his voice, still he always had a choice. Walk away or stay and fight. He chose calm over might, and that's the kind of poise that never needs a noise. But you'll feel it when he's gone. Wind slides down the avenue, cold collar raised high, streetlights stretch long silhouettes under an indifferent sky. Guitar bends like distant sirens, but softer, more controlled. I've traded reaction for something colder, gold. I don't interrupt the chaos, I let it pass me by. Observation builds a kingdom, Noir voice can't occupy. Every move I make tonight was chosen hours ago. Impulse lost its influence a long, long time ago. Cold street elegant, measured and refined. No sudden declarations, just a disciplined mind. Cold street elegance, purpose in disguise. The strongest force in motion, rarely advertised. Footsteps echo lightly, concrete doesn't care. But I've built a reputation with the way I bear. Pressure without spectacle, conflict without flame. 'Cause composure under tension outlives any name. Oh, let them misunderstand me, let them speculate. Mystery is leverage when you operate. Cold street elegance, calm in every move. You don't need permission when you have nothing to prove. Just shadows folding inward as I disappear from view. City skyline breathing slow, concrete rivers far below. I stand above the restless glow, where fewer men will go. Wind presses against my collar, cool, precise, awake. Every risk I take these days is one I've learned to calculate. Neon flickers in the distance, advertising borrowed dreams. I've outgrown the hunger for attention's fragile beams. Guitar hums in monotone, like questions never asked. Confidence is built in silence, not in moving fast. Up here, I redraw the line, rearrange the stakes. The loud makes sudden movements, the quiet orchestrates. Up here, I see the pattern beneath the city noise. A man who masters patience controls the final choice. Trust without foundation is just ego in disguise. Every step from here is measured, every partnership examined. Emotion sits behind the wheel, but discipline commands it. You won't hear the shift occur, you won't see the spark. Realignment happens in the dark.
Below they chase reflections,
Sun above,
above I stand composed.
whoa.
Below they chase reflections,
Sun above, sun above, sun above.
below they chase reflections,
Sun above,
above I stand composed.
sun above,
Below they chase reflections,
sun above, sun above, sun above. There's something in the silence between each guitar bend, a space where thoughts get sharpened and reactions learn to bend. The bar hums low and patient, glasses softly ring, but the loudest part of any song is not the singer, it's the in-between. I live inside those spaces where emotion doesn't spill, where discipline sits upright and impulse stands still. Candlelight paints gold edges on a face that doesn't rush. Some decisions don't need thunder, just a measured hush. Between the notes I move, unseen but aware. The world reacts in volume, I operate in care. Between the notes I choose which battles to decline. Silence is a strategy when timing is refined. I've walked away from conflict that wanted me to ignite. The fire without direction just consumes the night. A man who governs temper outlives the heated room, 'cause storms that scream the loudest often seal their doom. Listen close, power hides in restraint. The note fades, the silence remains. The note fades, the silence remains. The note fades, the silence. in my blood, no hunger for the crown. I don't chase what's running, I don't hunt what's loud. I move when it feels right, I stop when I choose. A man who knows his value don't have a thing to prove. I've seen ambition break backs, trying to be first in line. But peace ain't found in racing, it's found in taking time. I don't scroll for validation, don't fish for compliments. I've grown past that addiction of needing relevance. Some men fear the quiet, like it's something to escape. But silence is a mirror, and I don't look away. I've sat with my reflection long enough to know I don't need another man to tell me how to grow. Let the restless keep on running, let them chase the flame. I built my life in patience, not in fame. There's no rush in my blood, just rhythm deep and slow, and that steady kind of presence that don't need a show. I don't need a title to know where I stand. Don't need a louder story to feel like a man. There's something in restraint, in choosing not to boast, the kind of subtle gravity that matters most. No scoreboard in my pocket, no ranking in my head. I don't measure my reflection by what's left unsaid. This is quiet authority, not force, not display. It's built in self-respect, not in being obeyed. I don't chase approval, don't feed on attention. I walk in my own rhythm, this quiet authority. The world can keep its spotlight and rotating fame. I'd rather keep my balance than gamble on a name. When you're secure within yourself, You don't compete for air. You don't need to interrupt to know you're there. I've sat alone in darkness and found I wasn't afraid. That's how a man is tempered. That's how composure's made. This is quiet authority, soft voice, steady gaze. A gentleman in silence, comfortable in his ways. No Putin, no pressure, no need to entertain. Just presence, and that's enough to remain. Lean back, low light, complete.
I carry marble comb, smooth, uncracked, refined. No rush inside my pulse, no chaos in my mind. You won't see me compete for a loud acclaim. I know exactly who I am. I don't need a name. And there's jazz drifting softly through the corners of the room. Leather chair beneath me, perfume and cologne. A man becomes dangerous when he doesn't react, when outside validation no longer distracts. I've heard the whispers of what I should be, more aggressive, more driven, more hungry. But hunger for applause is a fragile disease. I prefer steady breathing and deliberate ease. I don't rise to provocation, I don't bow to demand. My dignity is anchored in a self-respecting man. I carry marble comb, cold to the noise, warm to my purpose, free from the poise. Of trying too hard, of playing a part. My composure lives in the center of my heart. Stillness is strange. Is strange. Is strange. There's a single lamp burning in this quiet room, shadows resting gently against the afternoon. I lean back, hands folded, no urgency to speak. I've stopped confusing silence with being weak. If you don't recognize me, that's alright. My value doesn't depend on your side. In this low light certainty, I remain the same. No louder for attention, no smaller for a name. I don't chase approval or bargain for respect. I carry in a balance that nobody can collect. The world can keep its chaos, its endless need to show. I walk beyond that current and learn to move slow. When you're at peace within, you don't perform control. You simply hold your posture and let the moment roll. I've sat with disappointment and didn't fall apart. That's how quiet confidence settles in the heart. Low light certainty, steady and refined. A solitary figure at peace inside his mind. No proving, no pressure, no applause required. Just dignity and silence and a soul unwired. Soft glow, slow groove. Enough. I don't have a speech prepared for every passing doubt. Don't have a list of victories I need to talk about. I've grown beyond the hunger to broadcast who I am. If you can't read composure, you won't understand. I've got nothing to announce, nothing to defend. A man secure in solitude doesn't need to pretend. There's comfort in anonymity. steady, and walking through the night without performing confidence under neon light. I don't react to whispers or rise to every test. The loudest kind of power is the one that rests. Used to fear invisibility, like it erased my worth. Now I see invisibility as freedom on this earth. Not every room deserves the fullness of your flame. Some places are too shallow for a deeper name. I face my insecurities and let them speak. That's how a man becomes complete. Nothing to announce, nothing to claim. I wake up knowing I am the same. Whole without applause, calm without proof, standing in certainty, rooted in truth. No headlines, no headlines, no headlines, just balance.
I remember when I thought being loud meant being strong. When I'd argue just to argue, even when I knew I'm wrong. Time has a way of sanding edges, smoothing out the pride, teaching you the loudest man is often empty inside. I was built in silence, brick by quiet brick. No need for validation, no need for tricks. I stopped explaining who I am to people passing through. If they can't read calm confidence, that ain't my work to do. There's freedom in detachment and letting others speak, while you just lean back steady, comfortable, complete. Ooh. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, I don't envy flashy lights and names that trend for days. I've seen how fast attention fades, like cheap cologne and strays. What lasts is what you carry when nobody's around. And then you are in solitude, that's solid ground. Oh, I've got scars I never show, oh, lessons I don't preach. Strength ain't in display, it's in what you don't need to teach. I was built in silence,
tempered slow by time. I don't need a witness to know this life is mine. No echo needed. Oh, oh, oh. No echo needed. I move with quiet gravity. Nothing forced, nothing loud. You can feel it when I enter, but I don't play to the crowd. I don't beg for recognition, don't chase a throne. I build my sense of worth from the inside alone. There was a time I mistook noise for being seen. Thought confidence was dominant, thought louder meant supreme. But wisdom lowered my voice, slowed my breath down, taught me strength is measured by how you hold your ground. I don't compete for oxygen in rooms that crave a show. If presence isn't obvious, it doesn't need to glow. I face the parts of me that others run away from. That's why I don't tremble when judgment tries to come. Let the restless posture, let the fragile flare. When you've made peace within, you don't compare. I move with quiet gravity, balanced and aware. You won't see me reaching for approval in the air. Slow pause, no rush. Slow pause, no rush. No rush. I stopped chasing better versions for people I don't know. Stop shrinking who I am, just to make someone feel tall. There's dignity in present, not demanding space, knowing when to speak and when to walk away. I don't need to dominate to know I'm strong. I don't need to win a war. No, I belong. I'm enough as I am, no louder than the truth, no bigger than the moment, no smaller than my rules. I don't compete for oxygen or beg to be seen. I breathe in who I am, and let that be enough for me. There's a calm and self-acceptance that no applause can buy. Sitting with your own reflection and not looking away this time. I made mistakes, I've owned them, I've fallen, I stood tall, and none of that requires an audience at all. If you respect me, thank you. If you don't, that's fine. My value isn't fragile, it's not on your timeline. I'm enough as I am.
I'm enough, not pretending.
Not perfect, not pretending.
Not searching, not pretending.
Just grounded in my center.
Not searching, not defending.
No proving, no pressure, just present. The clock on the wall ticks slow, but I don't mind the pace. I've stopped chasing validation in every crowded space. I don't raise my volume to command respect. I've learned true confidence needs no effect. No urgency in my steps, no tension in my tone. I move when it is time, not when I'm overthrown. A well-tied tie, a measured pour, a calm reply I've seen before. Men who think dominance equals being heard, but wisdom often speaks in the fewest words. I don't explain my standards, I don't debate my ground. If you misunderstand me, I won't chase you down. The world is loud enough without my contribution. My piece is not for sale or public distribution. I've made mistakes quietly and fixed them the same. Growth don't need applause. slow sip, soft drum. Soft drum.
Rain on tailored shoulders. Streetlights blurring, silver rain, polished shoes in quiet pain. Voices rush like passing cars, but none of them leave scars. Color straight, my breathing slow. I let the cold night settle low. They expect a loud defense, I respond with stillness. Pressure dressed in sharpened words, flying like mechanical birds. But composure is my shield, I do not yield. Umbrella closed in pouring rain, I stand tall, absorb the strain. Let the chaos flood the street, it won't move my feet. Calm beneath the thunder's roll, firm in body, firm in soul. Umbrella closed, I remain. Rumors slide off tailored seams, cheap opinions, fragile schemes. They mistake my quiet grace for surrender in my face. But dignity's discipline, not a war I need to win. I don't argue with the storm, I simply stand composed and warm. Oh, let them circle, let them speak. Strength is measured when it's me. Controlled fire, steady flame, unafraid of blame. Umbrella closed, chin held high, rain and judgment passing by. A gentleman in darker weather, unmoved altogether. Oh, flames in the headlines tonight. Everybody wants a fight, but I don't feed the spark. I don't bark in the dark. bass drum walking slow and tight. I don't chase what isn't right. Let them shout into the air. I'm still standing there, silent against the fire. No choir, no liar. Let the heat rise higher. I don't tire. You can test my name, you can curse my skin. Silent against the fire, I don't give in. Isolation, heavy crown, still I never back down. Better cold and real than warm and forced to kneel. Pressure builds, I don't scream. Calm like steel, hard like dream. Silent against the fire, still I remain. No surrender, no change. They expected me to break on the pressure they create. Voice as sharp as broken glass, certain I will never last. But my answer's in my steps, nodding, shouting back to mass. Low and steady like the groove, I don't flinch, I don't move. Firm without a sound, feet on solid ground. Let them try to turn me around, I stay bound to the code I chose to live, to the truth I give. Firm without a sound. Outnumbered on this side, still I don't divide who I am from what I say. Yucks to make it through the day. Dark sky pressing low, still my heart beats slow. Resistance in my frame, unafraid to blame. No raised fist, no loud defense, just endurance, just persistence. Firm with
quiet man can carry a louder storm. A quiet man can carry a louder storm. They expected me to brew. 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 Expecting me to break.
Rain on polished shoes tonight. City drowned in neon light. Voices clash like distant steel, but I don't reveal. Hands relaxed at my side. No collapse of enterprise. While the restless crowd consume, I'll last their fumes. Rain on polished shoes, I refuse to lose. Even when accused, I don't choose to bend or break. Comfort say, rain on polished shoes. Dark sky pressing low, still my heart beats slow. Misread, misjudged, outpaced, yet never displaced. Well dressed in discipline, chaos cannot enter in. A lone silhouette engraved still I stay. Not every war is loud, not every strength is proud. Sometimes the fiercest stand is simply where you land. Rain on polished shoes, war confused, still composed, still unmoved. A man does not rise by shouting, he rises by standing. Heavy 8 beats, heavy air, no retreat. Street gone quiet, lights half dead. Storm clouds hanging overhead. They said pressure breaks a man. Guess they never understand. Dark guitar bleeds slow and low, bass like thunder far below. Every step against the gust, boots in rain, iron truck. They push harder when you're still, test the edges of your will. Waiting for that single crack, waiting for you to step back. But the wind doesn't move me. It can howl all night. Tear in my jacket, I won't lose my ground in the fight. Alone in the weather, I steady, cold and free. The wind doesn't move me. Isolation thick as smoke, every silence heavy spoke. They don't hear the way I breathe, they don't see what I believe. Slow pulse beating in my vein, I've made peace with harder pains. Better stand in bitter rain than live tied to a chain. Anger held beneath the skin, not exploding, forged within. A quiet storm behind my stare, unafraid of what's out there. The wind doesn't move me. It can scream my name, but I won't bend my spine just to soften the rain. Let the night surround me, still I remain. The wind doesn't move me. Standing is a decision. Standing is a decision. Standing is a decision. Standing is a decision. Rain falls hard on empty streets, lonely echo of my feet. drop like whispered doubt, trying hard to wear me out. Guitar grinding low and rough, love has never played its song, but I've learned to stand inside the darker side. Out in the rain, cold but uncontained. Let the night apply its weight, I won't break. Wind can strike again, still I stand. Out in the rain. Isolation builds a frame for a different kind of flame. Not the loud and reckless kind, but the steady spine. Deep male voice against the storm, rage control never torn. I confront what others flee without apology. Not once upon my door, doesn't live here anymore. Pursued under fractured skies, come reflected in my eye. Every challenge dressed in doubt, trying hard to draw me out. Deep bass pulse beneath my chest, testing what I call my best. Storms don't rearrange a man who does not change. Pursue steady spine, I don't cross that line. Let the pressure redefine every weak design. I remain refined under harsh decline. Pursue steady spine. Crowded minds and louder rooms, predicting all my dooms, but I don't react in haste. I don't let restraint go to waste. Misunderstood by lesser men who bend and rise and bend again. But once I choose my ground, tires shaking on empty ground. Rain keeps talking, but I don't make a sound. They whisper failure in my name, try to wrap my life in shame. Cold wind cutting through my coat, heavy truth inside my throat. I don't beg and I don't run, I was built to stand alone. I stand in the cold wind, I don't bow, I don't bend. Let the whole world press on me. This is not the end. Storm can call my name, rain can test my skin. I stand in the cold wind, and I'll stand again. Crawling home. The storm doesn't scare a man who chose his ground. Streetlights shaking on empty ground. Storm doesn't scare a man who chose his ground. Black and heavy skies, city full of alibis. They don't see what I defend. They just want me to pretend. Strong bass walking through my ribs. Every doubt they try to give, but I filter through the noise. I don't play the games or toys. From the black skies I remain. Through the tension, through the strain, misunderstood or defined, still I hold the line. No applause, no disguise. Truth behind my eyes. Under black skies I remain. They call stubborn what is will. Call it pride when I stand still. Call it wrong when I don't sway from the path I chose to stay. Outnumbered in belief, but I don't negotiate with grief. I don't trade my ground for ease, or kneel for fragile peace. Storm above and ground below. I don't rush, I don't show. Strength don't beg for validation. It survives confrontation. Under black skies I remain. No surrender in my veins. Let the pressure multiply. I don't justify. Oh!